Isn't it amazing to see Python and R next to each other as good old friends?
Well, they are good old friends. They are old as well because they are in the market for the last 20 years. So, no matter what the debate is going on the last couple of years, that R is going to disappear, Python is slow and whatnot, but they are still here. They have survived the past 20 years and they are going to continue to survive for a few more years. Well, I may not be an expert at predicting how long they are going to survive. Anyways, in this tutorial, we're not here to debate about which platform or which language is going to last and which is going to disappear. We are here to understand how can we use Python and R for our day-to-day functionality. In this tutorial, we are going to understand about the basic data types that we have in Python and R. All right, let's start with Python first, and then we'll move over to R. So if I say a equal to 4 and I say type of a and I click on the run button, it will say that a is an integer. That's absolutely perfect. Now if I assign a value of say 5.5 to the variable b and I say type of b and click on the shift and plus enter button, it says float here, which is absolutely fine. Now if we do the same thing in R, I say a is equal to 4 and here we have something called class of a. So this is how we find out what exactly is the type of a. Is it a number? Is it a boolean? Is it a string? So in this case it's saying it's numeric. Of course the terminologies might be different in R and Python. Let's see what it says for b equal to 5.5. Now I do the same thing again here, class of b, and I click the enter button. Now b is also numeric here. So whether we write an integer or a whole number, a decimal number, we still have the type as numeric. Whereas here it is differentiating it as integer and float. All right. Maybe in this case, it's since it's able to differentiate properly, let's say Python wins this battle here. Fine. Let's go to the next one. What do we have next? C equal to Python. So this is a string, right? Let's see what it gives us as a type. Type of C is a string. str stands for string. So we have integer, float, and string. Now let's do the same thing here. C equal to R programming, and I type class of C. It says it's a character. Fine. So here it says string, and here it says character. Okay. Now let's see booleans. So D equal to 5 greater than 6. And if I type of D, it says bool. So 5 greater than 6, it will, what do you think the answer will be if I just say D equal to 5 greater than 6? 5 greater than 6 is false. So if I type D and execute it, it will give me as false. All right. Okay. Now let's do the same thing here in R. D equal to 5 greater than 6. And we say class of D and it says logical. So here it says boolean and here it says logical. And if I type D here, it gives me false. So in the logical part, if we see one small difference between Python and R, here false, only F is capital here. Whereas in case of R, everything has to be capital. So if I just write false this way and I click the enter button, oh sorry. Oh, why isn't allowing me to enter it? It says object false not found. Now if I do the same thing here, all capital, it will throw an error. So here we have to type false this way and here we have to type false this way. So here everything has to be capital and here everything, only the first letter has to be capital. So that is another difference between Python and R here. All right, what else do we have? So these are actually the basic data types that we would be using on a day-to-day basis: integer, float, string, and boolean. And that's all we have in our basic data types comparison. So I hope you are able to figure out the differences that we have between Python and R with respect to data types. So just to summarize, in the case of Python, we have integers and floats. In the case of R, we just have numbers, whether it is an integer or a whole number, they are represented as numeric. In the case of strings, both are very much the same. In R, we call it character, and in Python, we call it string. In the case of logical statements, in Python, we call it bool, and in R, we call it logical. So I hope you have been able to identify the differences and similarities between R and Python with respect to the basic data types. In the next tutorial, we shall go to little more different data types that we have in Python and R. All right, now let's head over to the next tutorial. If you have any suggestions or feedback, please do share them in the comment section. See you in the next tutorial. Thank you very much.